We are turning a page. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen said on Monday after the bloc's first summit with the UK since the Brexit. We are opening a new chapter. It is not the first page that has been turned in the post-Brexit period, but it is potentially the most significant one. The two sides have now struck a deal that covers fishing, trade, defense, energy, and the strengthening ties in a number of policy areas that are still up for the negotiations. For Brussels, this negotiation was a chance to bring the Britain, a major defense power, closer in time of the geopolitical turbulence and to address what some member states see as irritating hangovers from the Brexit. For years, there was a don't touch it mentality when it comes down to talking a broad look of the Brexit settlement, according to one of the EU diplomats. It's all involved too much politics, which is also being fearful, and it can all go wrong. Remember, up until the 2023 Windsor Framework Agreement, that London and Brussels were bogged down in a protracted dispute over trade arrangement from the Northern Ireland. Then in 2024, a new government won power in the United Kingdom, the more EU-friendly Labour Party. Officials in the Brussels have had long to voice expectoration, even distrust, and the prior Conservative administrations, a party with a local Brexit backing contingent. Also, some Brexit supporters are now castigating a deal that also says amount to sell out the sovereignty to the EU bureaucrats. The new UK-EU deal at a glance, diplomats is also in the Brussels, however, insisted that this is a normalization of the relationship between the neighbors who still look at the world in broadly similar way. Also, that being said, there was evident satisfaction in the EU circles about locking in the fishing quotas for 12 years. When I checked with one diplomat about the detail, they initially replied with the smiley face emoji. Another said the deal is balanced, arguably with favorable terms for the EU, and simply shows the splendid oscillation and is also not an option in the today's climate. Of course, the EU will want to highlight its win in the negotiations with a former member state who badly shook the bloc by leaving. Nevertheless, the coastal countries, notably France, will be happy at not having an endure annual fish quota talks for now. Also, it was in the end that I'm told the quid pro quo, that is the European Union got its fishing deal. In return, it will be easier for the UK businesses to export the agri-food products, although that element has been finalized. Also yet to be ironed out are the plans for the youth mobility, which could allow the young people to study or work more easily between Britain and the Europe. Also, there was a particularly important goal for the countries like Germany, anxious to win better access to an English-speaking country with prestigious universities. Another key point for Berlin was that the new defense and the security partnership, that the Russia full-scale invasion of the Ukraine and the Donald Trump unpredictable White House have ripped up the rules on the European security. Time has been something of a healer, but the events of the recent year have also created a sense of urgency. Better ties with Britain, which remains a major defense player, is a no-brainer, and also no more than ever for the mainland Europe as it tries to scale up the investment and the capabilities.